Oil jumped after a Saudi-led alliance cut ties with Qatar, while Asian stocks were mixed as investors weighed the prospects for global growth. The pound slipped after a terror attack in London. Crude climbed as the action against Qatar escalated a crisis that started over its relationship with Iran. US and Australian bond yields were near the lowest in 7 months as Friday's data on wage growth and hiring in the American labor market came in below forecasts. The yen weakened after Friday's gain. The peso reversed losses on signs the ruling PRI was ahead in the governor's election for the key state of Mexico. The most important market news of the day. Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates and Egypt said they will suspend air and sea travel to and from Qatar, with Saudi Arabia citing Qatar's support of terrorist groups aiming to destabilize the region. Also looming over the markets was the latest terror incident at a popular London nightlife spot, as Britain's battle with jihadists looked set to dominate the final 3 days of the nation's election campaign. The most recent US data is testing bets on improving global growth that's helped drive the value of equities worldwide up by more than $10 trillion over the past year. The World Bank forecast a modest pickup in growth despite uncertainty about monetary policy and concern among bond traders that inflation is waning. While Federal Reserve policymakers will remain silent this week amid its self-imposed blackout period ahead of next week's rate decision, there's plenty on the agenda for traders. The highlights include former FBI Director James Comey will testify before Congress following his dismissal by Donald Trump. UK voters go to the polls Thursday. Surveys of voters over the past few weeks have indicated a tightening race, increasing the chance that Prime Minister Theresa May might not get the increased majority she's hoping for. Policy decisions from central banks in India and Australia are due during the week, as well as data on Chinese trade and inflation, US factory orders, European industrial output figures and GDP reports for Australia, Japan and the euro area. Here are the main moves in markets. West Texas Intermediate crude advanced 1.5% to $48.38 a barrel as of 2:36 p.m. in Tokyo, after dropping 1.5% on Friday. Gold was up 0.1% at $1,280.31 an ounce after gaining 1% Friday. The yen fell 0.2% to 110.62 per dollar. Japan's currency climbed 0.9% Friday after the US data, when the Bloomberg Dollar Spot Index lost 0.4%. The pound fell 0.2% to $1.2866. The euro slipped 0.1% to $1.1264, remaining close to the 7-month high it reached after the jobs report. The Mexican peso rose 0.7%, reversing an earlier drop of 0.8%. President Enrique Pena Nieto's party is narrowly ahead in the election for governor of Mexico's largest state in an official quick count, throwing it a lifeline ahead of next year's general vote. Follow more on the vote here. The offshore yuan fell 0.1% and the onshore currency rose 0.1%. The PBOC set its yuan daily fixing at 6.7935 per dollar, raising the rate after setting it at the strongest level since November on Friday. The yield on 10-year Treasury notes rose less than 1 basis point to 2.17% after dropping 5 basis points on Friday. The yield on Australian 10-year government bonds lost 1 basis point to 2.40%. Japan's TOPIX index fell less than 0.1%, pairing an earlier drop of 0.6%. The gauge closed Friday at the highest since August 2015. Australia's S&P ASX 200 index lost 0.7% as financial shares slumped. Emerging market equities were higher, with Malaysia's benchmark gaining 0.5% and Indonesia stocks climbing 0.2%. Taiwan's TAIEX increased 0.7%. Futures on the S&P 500 index fell 0.1%. The benchmark index gained 0.4% on Friday. The Stoxx Europe 600 index added 0.2% on Friday. Before IT and APOS here, IT and APOS on the Bloomberg terminal. Learn more. May ramps up anti-terror rhetoric after attack kills 7. Toyota says it sold entire stake in Tesla in 2016. 5 things you need to know to start your day.